Okay, let me just mute my phone because all the girls are gonna be calling me during this video. Whoa! What is up, everybody? My name is Roger Coney, also known as @RajFormer on the internet, and I have not done that video intro in a long time. It feels like forever, but the reason why is because I wanted to play some video games and get better at League of Legends. That's pretty much it. You're gonna hear more about my transformation and why I did that in upcoming bonus points. Plug! I wanted to talk about why I love video games today. I think this is a very important topic, very important topic for various people. I think that if you were to ask 15 people right now, hey, why do you love video games? You're going to get 15 very different answers. And I think that's very special, and I think that shows why video games are so diverse and why so many people, different people, love them. And I want to give you my perspective because I think that when you ask why you love video games, you're bringing a lot of baggage with you. You're bringing a lot of memories, a lot of thoughts in your head. You're compiling it into one compressed answer. And I really want to talk to you, show you like where all my things are coming from. I want to start from the beginning of when I started playing video games to now, and answer the question why I love video games. So let's get started. It's well documented on my places that I talk about things. When I was 3 years old, I broke my arm, as a 3-year-old does. I thought I was Superman, jumped off a computer chair, and I was like, I broke my arm. Dad felt super guilty because he was there, and he felt like he could have stopped it. Couldn't. He was in the other room. I was being an idiot. And I broke my arm, and my dad's like, oh, okay, I feel super guilty. I'm going to buy you a PS2. Buys me a PS2. I played a ton of video games when I was recovering from my arm, and that's when I fell in love with it, because I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't run around. My arm was hurting. I couldn't do anything like that. So I went straight to video games, and video games were my safe haven for a long time, and they continue to be even now. And I didn't play video games because they were my safe haven. I didn't do any of that. Nothing deep. But the reason why I played video games at that time was because they were great companions to the movies and television that I was watching. I was watching TV shows like, Batman the Animated Series, which is one of the finest cartoons of all time, by the way. And then I would play Batman Vengeance, which was literally like the companion to that TV show. And then I would watch Spider-Man, the movie, and I would play Spider-Man, the video game. And I would read comic books sometimes, and I would play the video game versions of those comic books, right? I played video games because they were great companions to all the media that I was consuming outside of video games. And I think that's a very key thing that a lot of kids do. I think that when you're a kid, you're like, oh, this is a cool thing that I'm watching on television. My parents threw me in front of a TV, so let's play it on video games. And that's very healthy, and I think that's a great way to get into video games. I think a lot of people do it. I remember my friends would have all the Jimmy Neutron and SpongeBob video games, and they would just play that over and over and over, and that was the only things they played. And I was very similar, but I like superheroes. So then moving on from there, I had a ton of PlayStation 2 video games. Not a lot of them I finished. I documented this on my MyIGN blog before, but the reason why I didn't finish them is because I was just like, these games are too hard, blah. But I had a ton of them. I just didn't finish them. And then moving on from there, I continued to progress, and I kind of had a moment where I just stopped playing video games. I would watch a ton of TV, and I just kind of waned off the video games. Because I finished all my video games, where the video games I thought were really cool, I played them a million times, kind of moved on to, TV and movies again, and then around the time when the Xbox 360 came out, I got it. I begged my parents for some reason. I don't know why I begged them, because I wasn't playing video games. And then, first game I played was Dead Rising. I thought that was cool because it had some zombies or whatever. And then I moved on from there, and I continued to play more video games, and then I played Arkham Asylum. Batman Arkham Asylum was a really interesting and cool game. And it's well documented in every single form of media that I talk about, but that's a very special game to me. And I'm not going to go into details again, because I've talked about it a million times, but for the layman out there, this game really changed my life. It was the greatest transition game ever, from, playing games that were only superhero-centric to playing more serious games. I think that was really cool about it, because a licensed Batman game was all I knew before. So I played this game expecting the same thing, but it was very dark, it was very sad and depressing. There was a lot of bad words and cursing and death, and it was super not what the animated series was, but at the same time close enough to the point where I kept on playing. And it introduced me to an entirety of a new world of darker games, of more mature games. Even though the game was rated teen, it was very different, and it was much more adult than anything that I've seen before in the Batman form, because I haven't been reading comic books too much. And that was very exciting for me. That was a very exciting moment. And from there on, I started playing a ton of multiplayer games. I went and got into the Gears of War phase. I got into a ton of Modern Warfare 2. Like, a ridiculous amount. I think I have like 30 days of Modern Warfare 2 just straight playing that game, and I was god-awful at it, but I have a ton of it. And I got into a phase of just playing a ton of Modern Warfare and Call of Duties and Battlefields, and I got really into that. And then something special happened. I'm so glad that I picked up this game. Walking Dead. Now, I have a lot of licensed game, knowledge here. Like, I have very historied past of licensed games, of course, but Walking Dead was something special. Not Survival Instinct, but, the Telltale games. That was a game that I picked up on a whim, $5, who cares? I picked that up, and it captured me. It was like, okay, this is very not what you've been playing before. This is something that is darker, that is more adult, and that was when I matured as a gamer. Video games were kind of growing up with me a bit, but then when I saw that, I was like, okay, I feel like an adult now. Like, this is what I've wanted. I've wanted something a little bit more mature, and this is what I wanted. And I kept on playing it, I was just so into it. And then the final episode, spoilers, when I told Clementine to shoot Lee, I broke. I cried. I rolled up and I went like this, and I just slept. And I'm pretty sure I was depressed for a month or so. And that might sound really weird and maybe super, super nerdy to a lot of people, but that was something for me that was so unique. It was such an experience I've never seen before, ever. In video games and movies and television, I've never seen it before. Because video games are so special because they already got you. There is no need to say, hey, you're like, there's no need to set up a scene or anything or engage a player, because they're already engaged. They're already moving this controller. They're already engaged with the game. And I felt like I felt a deeper interaction with these characters, just not only one controlling them, but also me, buying every episode and going through the motions with them and choosing every answer. And that was a very special experience, and all those characters mean the world to me. To see that season end, it broke me. And from then on, I've grown as a gamer. I've played so many games, story-driven games. I think Walking Dead was the biggest things because it gave me story. It showed me story. And I moved on from there, and now I'm at the point where I can tell you the reason why I play video games right now, at least, is because there's a little bit of everything. If I want to shoot people in the face for no reason and I want to be stupid on the internet, I can play any number of games. Call of Duty, Team Fortress 2, even Garry's Mod. If I want to do something a little bit more serious, I can play that. If I want something story-driven, I can straight up play that. Spec Ops: The Line, To the Moon, these beautiful experiences. And then if I want something that I can just fool around with and just do whatever, Garry's Mod. If I want something fun, I can play Saints Row or Far Cry Blood Dragon. There's so many endless opportunities of games that I can play and really get into the nitty-gritty of that. It's nothing like movies or television. There's a lot of variety in those, but there isn't that sense of engagement, that sense of, okay, if I want to play something and actually do something with my hands, I can actually do that. And I think that's really special about video games. The gameplay aspect is so special, it's so unique, and there's so much variety in that. There's the 2D platformers, there's the shooters, there's just so much variety, and then you have the beautiful stories, and there's so much variety in the people that are making them. You have the EAs of the world, and you have the little indie studios, Hello Games of the world. And that's what's special. And that's what's special about video games. That's why I play them every day. That's why I love them. That's why I can't wait for the weekend so I can actually play more video games instead of, focusing about stupid chemistry. But that's alright, because school's the worst, and it'll pass, hopefully, right? Hopefully. But, what do you guys think? Why do you play video games? Now, I want you to leave me a comment down below. Not only tell me why you play video games, so tweet at me, @RogFormer, tell me why you play video games there, but also, I want you to tweet at me and tell me why, To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar's new album, is clearly a 9 out of 10. Clearly. And my screen just turned off. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Tweet at me, all that jazz, RogFormer.com. Bye!